Talked about the diminished fifth and the augmented fourth, so now one more half step, but still 5-letter names, is the perfect fifth, otherwise known as the power chord. In music, especially going back to classical music, is probably the most powerful interval. There's a ton of music, almost everything that came out of the classical era ends with a 5-1 cadence. A cadence is a kind of release point for any tension in the song and also brings everything home. So for instance, what I mean by 5-1 is if we're in the key of A, your 5 chord would be based on the 5th note, A, B, C sharp, D, E. And if we make an E chord and then go to A, it sounds like it's going home, even without any other context. Now if I make it a dominant 7th chord, which includes a D natural in there, and then go to A, it really sounds like it's going home. And if I make it a dominant 7th chord with a flat 9, which has an F in it, F natural, there's no question that wants to go to A. So this is using these intervals to voice lead now. So the fifth is extremely important. And the power chord is extremely important to all rock music and heavy metal for that matter. It's the foundation of just about everything. So a power chord starts on the 5th fret of the 6th string here. We're on A. If we go up 7 half steps, we get the note E. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is E. A, B, C, D, E is 5 letters. So we have 5-letter names, 7 half steps. That's a perfect fifth. Here's one here. And of course, the power chord can be moved up and down. Etc. And it can be moved across strings. Not all the way across. If you get to the second and third string, you got to go up one more. Otherwise, it's a diminished fifth. Up a letter name, 6-letter names, and up 1 half step, we get the minor 6th. Okay, so 8 letters from A, B, C, D, E, F. I'm sorry, 6 letters, 8 half steps. 6 letters, 8 half steps. The 6 letters away is a 6th. 8 half steps would be A up to F natural. This is a minor 6th. Let's see. Harmonically. Okay. Up one more half step, but still 6 letters, is a major 6th. So we have 6 letters, 9 half steps. In this case, it will be A up to F sharp. So, quickly back to the minor 6th, because I did forget to mention something, and then I'll talk about the major 6th we just discussed. There are 2 ways to play both of these 6ths. You can play them on adjacent strings, right next to each other, or you can skip a string. A to F can be found here or here. The major 6th goes the same way. A to F sharp. It's a big stretch, but it's just part of that comping pattern. If you've ever seen the blues comping pattern, this is indeed a perfect 5th and a major 6th. You can also play that major 6th here on the 4th string. This is F sharp and A. Okay? Lots of licks get played with 6ths. This kind of lick, the bluesy lick kind of thing. There's a ton of songs that use 6ths. I can't think of any off the top of my head. Next, we have 7 letters and 10 half steps. We know how many letters determines it's going to be some kind of 7th, and 10 half steps is going to be the minor 7th. So let's discuss that. So a minor 7th, we have 7 letters from A, B, C, D, E, F, G. A to G natural is indeed a minor 7th, and again with that comping pattern, if you really have a stretch, you can reach it. It's on the 10th fret here, the 5th string. So if you were to play that whole comping pattern, it might go something like this: 5, 6, 7, 6. So that's one way to play that seventh, but it's a huge stretch. So the other way would be playing on the same fret as your first finger on the 5th fret, but skipping a string, A to G. Again, by itself, a little bit dissonant, but given some context, and it sounds nice and smooth. This is a major triad and a minor 7th make a dominant 7th chord, and the dominant 7th chord is the foundation of Western tonal music, pretty much. The cadence between the dominant 7 and its tonic, whether it be major or minor. Okay, so that's the minor 7th. More to go. We have the major 7th coming up. So the minor 7th was from A to G natural. That's still 7 letters: A, B, C, D, E, F, G. But we need to add one more half step to make it 11 half steps. And so we go G sharp, still the same amount of letters, but 11 half steps. We get the major 7th, A to G sharp. Okay, major 7. Again, by itself, sounds very dissonant. It's got that kind of ring like the minor 2nd does. But in the context, John was coughing up a lung during that. He seems to be okay now. Sorry about that. So next is the last interval we've got, which is the perfect octave. Last one, perfect octave. 8 letter names, 12 half steps. We're completely back all the way around to the same note again. This is the opposite of the perfect unison. Okay, so with the octave now, we've got 2 of the same letter, A and A, but they're 8 letters apart. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and back to A again is 8. So that's why oct comes in, octave. And it's very hollow sounding. If you play them together, they kind of sound like the same note. But if you listen closely, you can hear one's higher and one's lower. Here's another one. The octave shape is really important because it can allow you to move around the neck quickly. To find, say you only know the notes on the 6th string. Well, if you know how the octave shapes work, then you can find any note anywhere. Let me demonstrate that. So there are several octave shapes on the guitar, and it depends on which string you're starting on. So we're going to start still with A here. We'll just keep it on the 6th string with the A on the 5th fret, and I'll show you the first octave shape is what we just did, the perfect octave. So we're skipping a string and going up 2 frets. Okay. The next octave shape in this position would be to go all the way across to the 1st string, 5th fret. So you have 1 octave here, and then from here to here is 2 octaves. Or from here to here is 2 octaves. Okay, so you've got this shape. Okay, I'm going to keep my middle finger out of the way there. I'm barring here, first and 6th, and I've got this. You don't have to bar, you can do them individually if you want. Okay, so say I'm trying to figure out where B is on the 1st string, but I don't know where it is, but I know where it is on the 6th string. Well, I can find my octave here, and if I just skip, I can go 2 octaves by doing the same fret. But if I need to, I can go here to my next octave, and then from here to here. All of these notes are now B. Okay, so that's 1 octave shape. Go back to A here. If we start from this octave, and instead of going to the 1st string, we find our note on the 2nd string, we get a bit of a stretch here. I'm skipping a string. I'm on the 4th string, 7th fret, and the 2nd string, 10th fret. So this is still A. We're at A. Here's A. Now if I go up to this note, this A, and I want an octave lower in the same position, I've got to reach over to the 12th fret of the 5th string. Okay? And now we're here at the 12th fret, the next octave shape is skipping a string and 2 frets up. Sounds like I'm not completely in tune. Okay, and then we're here. We can go an octave higher, or we can go an octave lower by skipping 2 strings. And at this point we're back to our shape that we were at before. So that could be also demonstrated here. There's A and A and A and A. So to find all the A's, there it is. It's the last one I could reach. So, use the octave shapes to shift around. Okay guys, so that's about it. That's what I've got for intervals. Hope it was informative and helpful, and you might be asking yourself, well, why do I need to know this? Well, honestly, in future lessons I'll be referring to the intervals between notes and chords, how to build chords. We refer to intervals, and it's a good thing to know in general. It's general music theory. It's kind of the foundation of a lot of things. Without intervals, without understanding intervals, it's harder to have an understanding of scales and chords and arpeggios and things. Also, you can use these 2-string shapes to make up riffs or whatever. So let me show you a couple of examples. Alright, so this is a riff from one of my tunes, and it uses major and minor thirds. It's got a minor third, major third, minor third, and 2 major thirds. Okay, so it's... Okay, that's one. Something that would use fourths would be Smoke on the Water. Okay, power chords could be a ton of tunes, but I'll do Master of Puppets. Okay, just that beginning is power chords, the rest of it's single notes, etc. Something that uses a minor sixth might be something where you've got a riff going back and forth between the minor sixth and the fifth. So I used a minor sixth to the fifth and then the fourth to the fifth. The tritone, diminished fifth, augmented fourth, I think I did earlier, but the Black Sabbath riff. And so on. And there's others that you could come up with using the sevenths, the major sevenths, kind of weird by itself. The sixths, etc. And octaves are great for playing over a riff. Say you've got something something like this, and I could go. Etc. So I'm just playing an octave line that would fit over those chords. Anyway, hope you found it helpful and informative. Take care, guys.